Neutral Milk Hotel. One of the few bands where I think just about everything they did as a band was great. Maybe with the exception of one thing. But although I have yet to cover their two fantastic studio albums in their own videos, I do have a history with their demo albums on this channel. One of my most recent reviews is of their 1993 demo cassette, Hype City Soundtrack, an embryonic, man on an off-topic note, I do love saying that word apparently, collection of songs inspired by 1960s pop and eccentric noisy charm. However, one thing, or rather two things that I glossed over in my history video on Neutral Milk Hotel was their apparent forgotten collection of demo songs that is very likely incomplete. So today, we're going to be taking a look at Neutral Milk Hotel's unknown demos. This is gonna be an unconventional review, possibly even more than just a review, but we'll see what happens. All I will say is I won't be giving them any scores because of their incomplete nature, so with that, let's get started. In this video, to avoid confusion, I'll be referring to both tapes respectively as Tape 1 and 2. These demos have no official names due to the fact they've never been released in full, and only snippets have leaked. So basically, we've got another Girly Sound Tape 3 on our hands, oh my god. Tape 1 seems to have been recorded between 1992 and 1995, and it shows stylistically. 1992's Beauty tape bears a DIY feel to it, pretty much running on one solid tape track with no overdubbing or double tracking, and this tape does the same. However, the major difference is that this tape was obviously made with overdubbing involved, since songs like Sweet Marie, which opens the tape, or at least the only version of the tape that we've seen, mixes electric guitar and acoustic guitar, and it's pretty widely believed that all the pre-Hype City soundtrack recordings were done almost entirely solo, and this is one that I'd include in there. This is my definitive favorite songs on Tape 1. It sounds like the Beatles mixed with Elliott Smith. Insert reference to either or being immensely inspired by Magical Mystery Tour here. Tape 1 also sounds like a lot like the solo work of ex-Pink Floyd member Syd Barrett, specifically his album The Madcap Laughs. And as is customary with early Neutral Milk releases, Jeff ends both cassettes with noise collages, and most distinct is the inclusion of Aunt Egma Blowtorch on the end of Tape 2, a noise collage that is one of the most identifiable of NMH's early releases. But anyway, we're not done with Tape 1 yet, so time to get back to it. Some of these songs do not seem like Neutral Milk Hotel at all on the surface. These cassettes are probably the most traditional indie-sounding collections that Jeff Mangum has ever put together. On Avery Island contains songs that are so fuzzy that it'd make William Reed drop his jaw, and In the Airplane Over the Sea is, well, its own thing that is indescribable. These tapes feel like an even better and bigger bridge between Neutral Milk Hotel's musical evolution than Hype City Soundtrack does, since I think that these are the closest to what On Avery Island exhibits as an album. Bucket, a song that many fans can probably identify if they've heard the early demos, is performed here, this time with an organ of some kind, and wow. I think it might actually be my favorite version of this song. It's different, more updated, and refined from the Beauty version from 1992, and it's a standout track in the collection. Now, if I were to explain every track on Tape 1, we'd be here for a decent amount of time, so I'll just explain two more of the existing 8, meaning we would have covered just over half the album at this point. Love You More Than Life is a very calm, slow track that is very uncharacteristic for Jeff's songwriting, but I think it fits here really well, and I wish it could have been recorded in an official way. And finally, we have Through My Tears, a song that sounds like a musical fusion of Sweet Marie and Love You More Than Life, but only in its music, while its lyrics seem to speak, and I only say that because honestly, trying to figure out the meanings of Neutral Milk Hotel lyrics is like trying to crack a puzzle without at least sounding stupid. It seems to speak about a regretfully ended relationship. The song's double-tracked vocals are my favorite part of the song, especially in the ending of the song, which, if this tape wasn't done in a studio, that makes it even cooler considering it was done by Jeff himself. But with that, let's move on to Tape 2. Tape 2 is probably the most accessible piece of Neutral Milk Hotel's early discography, in my opinion. Essentially being an extended version of the band's debut single, Everything Is, with songs not included on the eventual expanded CD release, such as Heroin Bath and Jennifer, but also missing most of the songs from the single. This also proves to be the home of some of Neutral Milk Hotel's most recognized songs outside of their 2-album discography. Life Is Never Ending remains a low-key fan favorite years later, as does this tape's version of April 8th, and the 2 aforementioned songs, Heroin Bath and Jennifer. I believe that Everything Is and Aunt Egma Blowtorch are the same version presented on the Everything Is EP, just in lesser quality due to their unmastered nature. Everything Is on this tape is also missing its intro that's contained on the EP, which I believe, not sure on this, is pulled from Invent Yourself a Shortcake, the first demo that Jeff made after changing the name of his project to Neutral Milk Hotel. Tape number 2 carries a striking similarity to the lavish, studio-based lo-fi sound of Hype City soundtrack, sounding like a professional tape that was left to degrade without any post-production work. This is especially noticeable on the track Follow Me Down, which sounds like a lost Beach Boys song with that distinct Neutral Milk Hotel flavor. These tracks sound too produced with quotation marks to be said that they were recorded at home and never received any engineering or post-production attention. Now, for all I know, Jeff Mangum could just be a master of 4-track tape recorders, and all these great songs were mixed and recorded by him alone in his bedroom, like his early pre-Neutral Milk Hotel demos, and even some of his demos with the Neutral Milk Hotel moniker, like Beauty. This leads me to believe that parts of this tape were recorded, or at least mixed, during the Hype City soundtrack sessions, which would be awesome, as that era of Neutral Milk Hotel is one of my favorites, which is weird to say somewhat considering that there aren't many eras of the band in the first place. Overall, Jeff Mangum seems to hone his lesser-used creative ability on these tapes, making songs that don't stray from normalcy, but also do not fall into the rigid definitions of your standard lo-fi independent rock fare. These 2 unknown demo tapes are a must-listen for hardcore Neutral Milk Hotel fans, and I would even recommend these tapes to a casual fan, more specifically tape number 2 due to its accessibility. Like I said, I can't give these tapes ratings without knowing the full track listing, provided there is one and these aren't the only songs on these tapes. But all I can say is, these 2 cassettes have a charm to them that separates them from the Neutral Milk Hotel discography, the ordinary discography anyway, and I highly suggest you give them a listen. Thank you all so much for watching this video, it is greatly appreciated, as always. This is a video that I made after listening to the YouTube videos on these 2 tapes on a whim, and I will be leaving the links to them in the description if you'd like to check them out. They're only about 25 minutes a piece, so it's not necessarily a tedious listen for most people. But with that being said, if you would like, please feel free to comment, like, and subscribe, and if you've heard these tapes, what do you think of them, and what are your favorite songs? Once again, thank you guys for watching, keep being awesome, and I will see you all with the next review. Take care.